about our shows is that we also dig into like the novel itself. So we're not
Yes,
just
the
going
It
over the
novel.
movies. Yeah.
Okay, so which I haven't read. I have not actually read much Stephen King. I have to admit.
Uh,
Welcome
so I mean,
everyone to another Wicked podcast. By the way, we're here talking horror. We were just talking the It movies because the Omens Revelations podcast network just put out a new episode of the Countless Corpses podcast on the very subject.
well, technically that's not actually right.
Oh,
Omen Comics has a kind of what you could call a subdivision called
oh,
Omen
really? Oh,
Comics Podcast. Yeah, called Omen Comics Podcast Network. It's kind of like underneath Omen Comics there. And Omen
mm-hmm.
Revelations Podcast, Countless Corpses
Oh,
Podcast, and Fellowship of the D20 are all part of that network.
oh, gotcha. So Omen Revelations is the podcast name under the umbrella
Yeah,
of the Omens podcast network, right?
right. The Omen Revelations Podcast is the flagship show of the network.
Gotcha. Okay, that's the yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice, man. I always love how you guys can juggle so many different podcasts on. It's really impressive, man. I have to
Thanks.
admit. And I've been
It's a
really
lot of work.
enjoying him. Oh, I bet. Yeah, but I feel like it's got to be rewarding because I know I find it really enjoyable to listen to your podcast and
Oh wow, thanks,
the
man.
you're welcome, man. I really in particular enjoy how much detail and research you put into it. It's very clear that you put your time and effort into making it an enjoyable show.
Oh wow, man, I really appreciate that.
You're welcome, dude. So I'm excited. Once I finish it too, I'll dive into the new part one. I guess I can just listen to part one and then watch part two. Um, since I've already watched part one, like I said, I watched part one in theaters way back in the day. I really enjoyed the little kid actors. It kind of gave me vibes of The Stand, which of course that makes sense because it's
Right?
based on another
Another
Stephen
Stephen
King.
King book. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear
uh,
something funny about chapter 2 though?
oh no, I'm
At
sorry.
the
I'm sorry. Did I say The Stand? I meant Stand by Me. My apologies. Just want to correct that real
Stand
quick.
by Me, yes, that makes sense.
Sorry. Yeah. I
That
was
makes
like, wait, did I
sense.
say
Yeah.
that wrong? Sorry. Go ahead though.
One of the funny things about it chapter 2, and I have never ever had to do this with one of my shows before. But we got just a tad gratuitous with the word fuck.
Oh no.
I mean, we used it so often that while I'm trying to edit the episode, I was
Oh
actually
wow.
starting to get offended by how many times we said it. So
Now
I
here's the
actually had
question:
to
do you
edit
edit
out.
them all out?
No, I didn't edit them all out. Just
Oh, okay.
there were some where it was like like it was like we said fuck every like 2 or 3 words in a sentence. And I mean, it was just like 3 or 4. Like there was one point I think we said fuck like 10 times within like 3 minutes. So I was a little worried about potentially maybe putting people off from listening to the rest of the episode or something like that. That was really my only concern. Are you there, Mike?
Oh, can you hear me, man?
Oh, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry about that. My bad. I was listening to you the whole time, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah. That's a lot of F bombs.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Well,
that's really funny.
I think it started because I pointed out that between it chapter 1 and it chapter 2, they said the word fuck like 168 times in those 2 movies.
Really? Wow, that's
Yeah.
impressive.
I think Matt, perhaps we were inspired by that.
Wow. That's really impressive. One of my other favorites displays of the F bomb is the in the Walking Dead TV
Yeah.
show. There's that famous scene with Negan that everybody knows about.
Right.
With the circle, and in the show on the TV version, they had to censor it because it's a network TV show. But for the
Right.
Blu-ray release, they filmed a version, and he says that I think he says the F word at least 20 times in that one scene. He just constantly dropping it.
I can see that. That seems I haven't read the comics myself, but Negan seems like the kind of guy that would swear a lot more often than he did in the TV show.
Right? Yeah, I totally agree. That's the one weird thing about the show being on cable. It's like the language barrier. So you can't swear at all. It's
Right?
so weird. But you can show all this gore and blood and zombies. Doesn't matter. But nope, can't say
Well,
any swearing.
have you seen Starship Troopers?
I think a long time ago, but it's maybe in college I saw it.
Okay, well, about the censorship thing, there's this thing in
You
Starship
know what?
Troopers where,
I don't think I have seen that actually.
okay, well, I definitely check it out. It's a great movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh, but there is this scene where they show the mutilated bodies of like dozens of humans, guts
Oh
hanging
shit.
out, body parts all over the
Oh,
place and everything,
oh
right?
wow.
But then they go over to this scientist talking about how to kill one of these arachnids, and they actually censor the part where the arachnid kills the cow. What's funny about that is
Huh.
that they just showed humans mutilated, all the shit, but they're like, but we gotta censor this animal dying because that's too much for
And
people.
that's in the movie. That's the
Yeah, in Starship Troopers,
oh,
yeah.
okay. That's really funny, man. Oh wow. Yeah,
We can
that does
see
sound
the
like a
blood and
very.
guts of humans, but I mean, it's just too
But come on, these
traumatizing with
yeah
the
these
animals.
we got to censor this. This is too much. Our poor eyes can't
Yeah,
take it. Oh man, yeah, I've heard everybody loves Star Trek Troopers.
it is
At
really
least the
good.
first one. I don't know about the second one.
Honestly, it kind of brings up a question of it presents a different type of society.
Hmm.
In that universe, the governments of the world kind of fell apart, and it was the veterans of the wars that kind of gathered together and formed a new government that was more. It was kind of
Like a one world government.
well, yeah, but I mean, it was how do I describe it?
More militaristic.
It was very militaristic. But I'm trying to. It's kind
Uh,
of like a dictatorship without
uh,
a single dictator. They were very kind of.
hmm.
They seem to be very kind of fascist as far as how their laws were or
Huh.
whatever.
Interesting.
At the same time, it does like for instance, you can be a regular person just living in their society, but some of your rights and your privileges are restricted unless you join the military.
Okay, so the you get privilege for being in the military in a sense.
Right, right, and they have things like you have to have a license to have a child, and one of the
Huh.
easiest ways to get a license is, of course, joining the military. So, I mean, it's all
Uh,
about if you, basically you're better off joining the military if you want the full freedoms allowed by that society.
huh, okay. Let's see. And who's in the cast here? Let's see.
Um, um,
Looks
um,
like Denise
what's his
Richard,
name?
Neil Patrick Harris,
Yep. Uh,
Patrick
Denise
Muldoon.
Richards.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Interesting. I'm not sure. Timothy Olmanson for randomly is in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy from Psych. One of the guys from
All
Psych.
right.
Um,
If you'll notice, I man, it's been a
huh.
little bit since I watched it. Um, uh, the guy from Highlander that was first after him. That was first after. Damn it, I'm forgetting all kinds of names. But that guy from
Christopher
Highlander that was
Lambert?
the bad guy.
Oh,
Um,
Sean Connery?
no, no.
Oh,
He played the bad guy in that.
I don't think I've seen Highlander.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
My um Highlander is that there can only be one, right? I just listened to a podcast
Yep,
about that.
yep.
I literally just did like 2 days ago, or maybe a day ago. I listened to a podcast about the first one. There's like a bunch of sequels too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, interesting. Man,
But from
there's so
what
many.
I under,
You're gonna learn the more you talk to me. Is I have a lot of movie blind spots.
ah, Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like I don't have my blind spots. I don't watch all kinds of movies and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. So I feel like maybe it's because my parents didn't really show me a lot of like classic movies when I was growing up. I just saw whatever was coming out,
Oh,
and so
right.
I missed a lot of stuff from before, you know. And so I do love to go back and watch old movies and stuff, and check stuff that I missed, and anything
Uh,
from the past that, you know, it's like filling in those blind spots when I can is really fun. I feel like.
oh, for sure, for sure. I guess I
Hmm.
had the advantage of my dad being kind of a movie buff, and so
Oh,
we watched
nice.
movies and stuff all the
Oh, that's
time.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
You wanna you wanna hear something interesting actually?
Huh.
Okay. Uh, my 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 dad is kind of a complicated guy. But like
That's putting it lightly, I guess.
he would like he would allow me to watch like horror movies and stuff when I was 8 years old. But yet
Nice.
he would restrict other things like I couldn't watch the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon because I might
Oh
turn
wow.
into a Satanist if I did.
Oh, that's wild.
Right? But that same guy telling me that same thing at that exact same time was like, sure, let's watch A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh my God. What do you think the difference for him was?
I, 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 you got to understand in the late 70s and especially the early to mid 80s, and I suppose even clear into the 90s, there was the thing
Uh,
called the Satanic Panic. Have you heard of
yeah,
that?
yeah, definitely.
Okay. And so he was kind of caught up
Oh,
in that,
okay.
and Dungeons and Dragons was on that list of things that might turn your child into a
That's
Satanist.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Whenever I get
Metal
out
music and Dungeons and Dragons.
metal music and Dungeons and Dragons, if that's the case, I might be Satan himself.
For real.
But actually, I
Uh,
totally play along with that. If anybody ever asks me, he's like, "Isn't that satanic?" And I say, "Yeah, totally, man. We
totally,
sacrifice virgins and
dude.
everything.
These
Man,
are
we got to have the
ritualistic
demons
means.
presents. Yeah, that's right.
See, D20, these are our totems.
That's right.
Oh man, yeah, that's crazy. That is really funny. I love the dichotomy there between like him allowing you to watch these horrific horror movies. You know, I wasn't allowed to
Right.
watch any horror movies when I was growing up as a kid.
Oh,
Not allowed whatsoever,
not
and
anything. Like not even like
not if
poltergeist or something.
no, and if it's rated R, no, because that was the other rule. No rated R movies. I was not allowed to watch
I,
any rated R movies.
isn't poltergeist PG-13?
Maybe I'm not sure. But at the very least, the only horror movie I remember watching as a kid was when I went over to my friend's birthday party and we watched the first Resident Evil movie,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, oh, and then we were stayed up all night because we were terrified. Um, but yeah, it's and the other thing is, my dad did let me watch the X Files. So that was like my one kind of horror
Oh,
esque.
the X Files certainly has some horror elements in it for sure.
Hmm, totally. So yeah, that was like my gateway into it. But yeah, other than that, I really didn't watch any stuff like that. So that's why I have so many, especially in horror, I have so many blind spots, is because of that. And then,
Oh,
you know, getting busy with high school and then college and stuff, I just didn't, whatever reason, just didn't find it myself in that kind of circle. And then I met
oh,
you, and now I've become a big fan of the slasher genre,
oh,
which I'd
nice.
never seen a slasher before I met you. So
Wow, I will
yeah,
take that. That's pretty cool.
hell yeah. And now I've
Actually,
like seen most of them, I would say, or a
on
few.
CC, yeah, like what?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just gonna say you know, I've seen all of this Scream movies now. I've seen all of the let's see. Oh man, oh god, now I'm blanking on the names.
Didn't you go
I've
through
seen
the
all of
Halloween
Halloween. Yeah,
movies?
I've seen
Yeah.
all of
Okay.
Halloween. I saw all the Candyman movies. If that counts as a kind
Okay.
of a slasher. Yeah, even he has a hook. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
saw. Let's see. Have you? I've seen. All oh man, I'm trying to blank it. I
Terrifier.
think that's it actually. No, I think that's it actually. So I've seen a few, but I wouldn't say all. I take that back because I haven't seen the Michael Myers movies. I need to watch the Jason
What?
movies.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I mean, not the Michael Myers movies. Sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say
Uh,
you just said you watched those.
no, to see Jason and Freddy. Sorry, I meant Freddy. I
Yeah,
gotta watch
yeah.
his movies.
You gotta watch the Friday the
Oh, and
13th.
Texas Chainsaw. That's probably another one I gotta watch.
Oh my God! I'll tell you something about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I believe
Huh.
that came out in '74. It that there is a guy in that movie that he is so irritating, so annoying, just grating with his personality that I have never made it longer than 51 minutes into a Texas
Whoa.
Chainsaw Massacre. I actually prefer the
Dang.
remakes. I actually prefer the remakes from the early
That's
2000s.
interesting. Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. That's pretty bad, man. And you've
Oh
seen all the
man,
Halloween movies, so I think that's saying something.
right,
Yeah,
right.
because
Oh man,
there are a few in the. My highlight of the Halloween franchise has got to be when what's his face? I think we've talked about this before when the rapper faces off against Mike or
oh, when
yeah,
Buster Rhymes.
yeah,
Yeah, he somehow
doing his
defeats
moves.
Michael Myers with the power of motherfucker. That was all it was. He just said
So
motherfucker, kicks him
cool.
out the window.
And they
I
only
was
did
like,
it because it was him. Like no other actor or character would get that kind of power in the movies.
no, no. Honestly, I gotta say, just as a general rule, I hate Halloween Resurrection.
Mm. Yeah, it's not. It's probably I think my least favorite entry of the whole franchise as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't offer a
What's your
whole lot.
favorite?
Oh wow, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think the easy answer is to say the first one, but
Okay.
I would say yeah. Like I mean, I really love the first one and two, and like I think the
Which
first
is
the first
really kind of
trilogy. I would
one
say the
movie.
trilogy.
The first trilogy.
Yeah, like the first one, two, three. I think just really
Okay.
amazing stuff right there.
I think it would actually be 1, 2, 4.
Oh really? In your opinion, you think
Remember?
four is better than three?
No, I mean,
Oh, I
Season of
meant
the Witch
sorry.
was number
I don't
3.
mean. I'm sorry. You're right. I don't mean number three in terms of the number. I meant the third of the Michael series. My
Okay.
apologies. Which would be, I
I can
guess you're right.
see.
Halloween four.
Yeah, I can see 1, 2, and 4 for sure. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think of the original Halloween and Halloween 2 is kind of one movie. I mean,
Yeah. I could totally see that, man.
it takes place on the exact same night. It's the same reason why I think Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills are really just halves of the one movie.
Oh, and Scream 2 does that as well, I believe. I believe they're
No,
both.
no,
Oh, no, I
no,
thought Scream
no.
2 was on the same night.
No. Scream 2 takes place when they go to college.
Okay. My apologies. Misremembered there.
Check this out. The guy who wrote Scream and Scream 2 actually had when he turned in the script for Scream number 1, he actually had a I'm losing the name of it all of a sudden, but like an outline, a
Mm-hmm.
detailed outline of what he wanted to do for Scream number
Oh.
2, right
Mm-hmm.
there along with it.
Okay, so in
So
a sense, it is similar in that way, where he had an idea for the second one with the first one.
right, I mean, in his idea, he had all. I think Kevin Williams, I want to say his name is.
Mm.
Anyway, he had the whole time he had planned on doing Scream 1 and Scream 2 if he did it.
I really love the Scream movies.
I love 1, 2, and 4. I will watch 3. I don't hate it,
Is
but
it too goofy for you?
no, it isn't too goofy. It's just it feels a little different for me. It doesn't have the same feel as 1, 2, and 4.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess I could see that. I I definitely don't. I can understand where you're coming from. I personally don't mind the switch in that one. I really like all of the Scream movies, even the newer ones I've been enjoying, like Scream
I,
5 and the one where they went to New York with. That was fun.
I gotta say, I mean, I was actually down with Scream 6 until the ending. The
Oh
ending of that
yeah,
movie just sucked. I mean, damn. Hoover vacuum
that's
cleaners haven't sucked as much as that movie.
that's the one with the spoiler. I think this one with the father reveal at the end, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and then it's like, oh, and I'm also in, and I'm also in on it.
Yeah. 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 The ending of that, it was like they were going. It felt like they were doing something with this, like the first three quarters of the movie, and then like the last three quarter of it was I don't know. It felt different. It felt like the ending was kind of thrown together and maybe not quite what they had originally wanted to do or something. But I mean, I, like I said, for the first three quarters of that movie, I was behind it. I was digging the just utter brutality of the kills and all that kind of stuff. But
And
I
what do you
mean,
think is I mean, beyond the ending, that was kind of a little bit of a disappointment for you. What did you think of the New York setting for the series?
I mean, I didn't mind the New York setting. Um,
Uh-huh. You
it
didn't like it. It sounds like either really, or didn't like do it for you
I
necessarily.
did I didn't mind. No, I just no. I guess you could say, I guess I liked the New York setting.
Okay.
I didn't like that there were like four ghost faces.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's been one of the problems with the series because the first one they did the great plot twist of having two killers, and
Right.
then every time they feel like they have to up the ante,
I
which
just
can lead to problems.
All right, but check this out. With the first film, they made it seem like you didn't really know who it was. And like you said, they had the big reveal that it was two killers. But the
Hmm.
killers had motivation to be doing what they were doing.
True. Very good
Um,
motivation. Yeah.
right? And it seems like I mean, as the movie, like Scream 2 followed along with that same line where the killers had motivation to be doing what they're doing. um I just I feel like 6 kind of lost touch with that. It felt like
Hmm.
the motivation wasn't really all that strong, and I mean, it was just like, this guy annoys me, so I'm gonna kill him. That
That's true. The villain was pretty weak in that film. I'll give you that. Though I think the highlight for me of Scream Six is the main female protagonist, the one who's related to the killer from the first movie.
Oh
What's his
yeah.
name?
uh
Uh,
Billy
Stu? No,
Loomis.
Billy. Yeah, Billy Loomis. She keeps seeing the visions of him in her head.
That I thought that part was pretty cool, and I would have liked it
Hmm.
if she was the killer.
Yeah, I think that could have been an interesting idea.
Right, and
Yeah,
that would have connected it to the old ones. So I mean, if they'd have gone that route with it, I think I'd have liked it more.
interesting. Okay, I can see that, man. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think they've already greenlit another one though.
Well, I mean, I kind of I'm dropping off a little bit more with each movie. Like, I watched 5 and I really didn't like it. I watched 6 and I was like, okay, we're getting a little bit. Oh, you ruined it. So, so I mean, I don't know. I mean, the last really good Scream movie was 4, in my opinion.
Well, the reason I think they'll probably do one more at least with Sydney, right?
I don't know that she's coming back for another one.
You don't think
As I
so?
understand, there were issues even getting her involved in the last one, because she felt like she wasn't getting the amount of pay that she thought
The
that she
last
should be
one,
getting.
which one do you mean?
I want to say I
Was
want to
that?
say I want to say 5 is what the one I'm thinking of, maybe.
I think
Uh,
that, yeah, that
perhaps
sounds right. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now. She, yeah, she wasn't actually in 6, was she?
No, they brought back Hayden Panettiere's character instead.
Okay. That I think maybe that's what it was. It was in number 6. They wanted her to come back, but the actress Nev Campbell decided that like she wasn't getting as much as she should be to portray her role. She
That makes sense.
specifically
Okay.
said that she felt like if she was a man, she'd be getting paid more than she was in that particular case,
That's
and so
fair.
she didn't want to do the movie, and I think that's why
Okay.
they switched her out with Hayden Panettiere.
You know, what's funny is I know you don't like the show very much, but did you catch the cameo from Nev Campbell in Twisted Metal?
Yes, she was in the very first episode.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to just it to all be totally a ruse in that first episode.
I know, dude. That was the craziest part for me. I was like, what?
But she's just like, okay, we're done. Get out of here. Everybody go.
Yeah, that was
She
really
went from
good.
being, oh, look at my loving family to I hate you all. Get the fuck out of my house.
Oh man. Yeah, that was good. I enjoy seeing her pop up and other stuff there.
Yeah. You know a movie you ought to watch with her
Hmm.
is Wild Things.
What's that?
It's got Nev Campbell and Denise Richards and
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name. The guy in it. It
Oh,
starts
is
out.
that's not Charlie Sheen, is it?
No, it's not Charlie Sheen.
Oh, okay.
It's Matt something, I think.
Matt Damon?
No, I
Yeah.
can't remember his name. But the idea is, this guy and these two girls plan to have this ploy to try and get some money out of a situation. And no matter how many times you think you know what's going on, you don't. And by the ending, you're going to be going, "What the hell just happened?" But I mean, it's a really wild ride, and it's a very good movie. And I think honestly, it's probably one of my favorite Nev Campbell movies.
Really? That good, huh?
Yeah. I think her and Denise
Huh.
Richards did pretty good in it.
Damn. What's it called again?
Wild Things
Wild Thing. Huh.
came out in
I'll write that
I
down.
want to say the latter '90s.
No, I missed it. I haven't really seen too much of her other stuff actually.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Gotta figure out what the hell that guy's name is. It's bugging me. Okay, Wild Things. It came out in 1998. And Matt Dillon, that's his name.
Not Matt Damon, that's for sure.
No, Matt Dillon. He was in wow. The Outsiders.
Oh, I started reading that book actually.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I missed it. My sister read that one in high school, and somehow I didn't get to sign that one in high school.
Yeah, that one. I think I read that somewhere around high school.
So
But
it was
to be
pretty
fair,
interesting.
I basically. But to
Huh?
be fair, I didn't go to all of high school.
You skipped a lot of that, I'm guessing.
I skipped a lot of junior high and high school. In fact, check this out. When I went from 9th grade to 10th grade into high school, my GPA was only 0.38.
0.38?
0.38.
Not 3.8?
Not 3.8. 0.38. And somehow I
Damn.
graduated junior high and moved into high school. I think they just didn't want to deal with me anymore, and they're like, "You're a high school problem now."
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Damn.
I spent most of my not most. I'm going to say about at least half of my school hours in the comic book shop reading comics, in the guitar shop playing
Man,
guitar, or at the college screwing around.
I wish I was as cool as you when I was a kid because I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't read comic books. I didn't play guitar. You know
Uh,
what I mean? I watched freaking um, what is it? Stupid little cartoons on TV.
for the record,
Sesame Street.
I was not anywhere near cool.
Nah. Hey, that's the thing though. I think you're my definition of cool, man.
Well, I mean, as far as the social ladder goes with me in junior high and high school, or even in grammar school, I was basically at the bottom of the social ladder. You know, there's those kids in school that everybody picked on. Well, even those
Uh-huh.
guys picked on me. So, I mean, I was about as far from cool as you can get. I don't think I reached cool until maybe 17 or 18 years old.
That's fair, man. So yeah, um, I got the convention coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting,
Man,
man.
that's gonna be pretty cool. Is that 1 or 2 days?
3 days actually.
3 days. Wow.
Yep, yep. So we the convention's open up for early entrance at 4 o'clock on Friday, and goes till I think about 8 or 9 is the late night first day, and then
Okay.
all day Saturday, and then I think till 5 on Sunday. And I'm really excited for the convention. I just stocked up on new books, so we're all ready to go. And
Nice.
got I ordered this big vinyl sign to show off.
Sweet. Sweet.
Yeah.
I've noticed like I've mostly done like signings and stuff. I've never been to a con.
Hmm.
But something that will grab their attention
Hmm.
besides you trying to talk to them is definitely things like those like that vinyl thing you got, and any
Hmm.
signs
Awesome.
or whatever, things to draw their eyes to you. But
Yeah,
I
that's
will
great, man.
give you this tip from the signings that
Okay.
I've done. I have sat like outside of a bookstore, doing signings and just trying to catch people like on their way to farmers market and stuff. They're walking by my table and whatnot. And one of the things I found is if I just sat there, almost no one came to my table. But when I started asking people, everybody that came by, I was like, "Hey, do you or anybody you know read comics?" And they'd say yes or no or whatever. But that provided way more opportunities to actually talk to people, and I made way more
Hmm.
sales doing that, being proactive in getting them to come to my
Totally.
table rather than just sitting there watching them go by.
Yeah, that makes sense. I totally feel that, man. Yeah, I definitely can do that. I always try to say hi to people and greet them and stuff, so I can try and engage them in conversation this weekend and see how that goes.
Yeah, try to work on like just like like how like for instance, like I was just bringing up whether or not they themselves or somebody else read comics, but try and
Hmm.
come up with something quick like that you can just say in
Hmm.
like a short sentence, like to kind of pull them in here or something like that.
Hey, do you
Buy one of
like
their comics,
sci-fi comics?
right, something like that. Perfect. But something
Okay,
like
I
that
feel that.
to draw them in there that way,
I'll start working on my approaches, vary it up a
right?
little bit.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Oh yeah, but one thing I've gotten over, which is good, is like just because it's like especially doing by myself. Though sometimes in the past it was hard to do, but I found the one I did this time coming back, I was like I felt a lot more energized for it.
Oh, nice.
So I feel like I'm in a good place for it, and
Yeah, I imagine
because
that
they're
first
long,
one
man.
was probably a little rough.
Which you
I
mean the first one coming back or the first one in
no,
general?
the first con you did was probably a little rough. You were probably pretty nervous and
Well,
anxious about
actually,
the
it's
whole thing.
weird. I wasn't because I had Matt with me. The first commission I did
Oh,
was with me and Matt were together, and so I you know what I think as long as I have someone with me, I feel a lot more confidence. I feel that because my thoughts aren't just going around in my head all by myself and stuff.
right. Plus,
And I have
with
someone to
somebody
talk to.
else there, you can go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's the nice part. Yeah, I don't think I used the restroom one time at all during the last convention. I just sat there at the table for about 6 hours straight.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure your kidneys loved you for
Well,
it.
I tried not to drink too much water. Oh
Oh
man.
man, I am addicted to water.
Oh yeah? That's good,
I
man. It's better
basically
than
only drink two things. I drink water and coffee.
that's good, man.
Yeah, maybe
Uh,
not so much the
uh,
coffee, but
better than me. I drink too much beer.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Michelob Ultra guy myself.
Yeah,
My favorite light beer.
I never really got into light beer.
Oh yeah, how come?
I don't know. I guess I I just I've always preferred just the regular kind.
Like a
Not
dark
not
beer?
like yeah, I like porters and stouts and stuff.
Oh, so you're like
But
my sister's husband. I can't handle anything bitter.
uh,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I also like. I mean, when we're talking about like just like store bought beer kind of stuff.
Mm.
I mean, I think my favorites are probably Corona and
Okay.
I
Modelo.
really I, I'm not remembering what Modelo tastes
Mm.
like.
Okay.
One of
Tecate?
my favorites is probably Heineken.
Oh, really?
Heineken is
That has such
excellent.
a weird taste to me.
Oh, yeah, I really love that. I really love that one. But as far as cheap beer goes, I think I'm probably a Miller Genuine Draft guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. I can get with that.
Do you ever drink whiskey?
Oh, back in the day, but not too much.
Uh,
Jim Beam was the drink of choice back in the college days of my roommates.
that was mine back in the day too. And it's one of the it's a high enough quality that it tastes decent, but it's not so high that it costs an arm and a leg to do it.
Exactly, and then you can mix as well with things like Coca-Cola.
Right? I'm a Pepsi guy, but I mean that works.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah.
You know what you've got to try at some point though,
Hmm.
and granted, this is what you call sipping whiskey. This is not. I mean, you can get drunk off of it, obviously, but
Uh,
when you're spending $50 a bottle, you don't want to guzzle this shit. You know what I'm saying?
oh, Jesus.
But you got to try some Jameson 12 year. It's like trying a fine wine where you could taste certain notes and flavors in it and stuff, and like you swish it around in your mouth, and you know what I mean. It's literally like how wine connoisseurs will go through like a wine tasting. Like you want to do that with this whiskey.
A whiskey tasting.
Oh my god! I mean, literally, I'm not kidding. You literally want to swish it around in your
Huh.
mouth and taste all the different notes and flavors in it and everything. It's just delicious stuff.
Damn.
Oh, and I'll tell you this: the more expensive alcohol is, as a general rule, the less hangover you're gonna have.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
when you're talking about that bottom shelf whiskey, that's guaranteed bad hangover. You want at
Whoa.
least middle shelf.
Oof. I haven't had a
Yeah.
hangover in a while, man. But
I don't even really drink anymore. If I do, it would be one of those like I'll have some sipping whiskey or maybe one, maybe two
not enough to
beers in
get a
my ass.
hangover.
I don't even get drunk anymore. So
Hmm. Just by personal choice or health reasons or what?
um,
Or a mixture of
I just
things.
well, if I'm being totally honest, I was in a relationship with this girl that totally like nagged on me every time I got drunk. There was always
Aw,
something I said or did wrong, and it just sucked
damn.
the joy out of it for me. And
That
I haven't
sucks.
really drunk since.
Okay, I can understand that, man. That's a
I
tough
don't know
one.
how. Yeah, I don't know how much of it how much of what she said was true, but it made me so self conscious of how I acted when I was
Kind
drunk
of messed you
that
up
I
with
was
it a little
nervous.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that, man. For sure. Whew,
But
I can
you might
definitely
end up.
relate, man.
Yeah.
In a way, just because in a more real way, like I had a relationship in college that was like a really really good one, but then I kind of messed it up with alcohol, you know,
Oh yeah.
like and so that kind of sucks. That's why I try not to drink too much hard liquor anymore.
Right.
Because
Right. I can see that. You know what's weird though is that me and my girlfriend Melissa, back when I was
hmm.
in my 20s, um, me and her could practically split a half gallon of Jim Beam. Okay.
Shit, man.
But so I can drink that much whiskey, but if I drink like 2 beers, I'm ready for a nap.
Hmm.
Something about beer makes me tired. I don't know what
That's
I don't
so
know what the
funny,
deal is
dude.
with that. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, but if I do drink, I usually drink vodka these days.
Vodka. Do you, what kind of vodka do you get?
Ooh, like brandy, be?
Yeah.
Oh, all sorts of them. You know,
Okay.
Grey Goose, Smirnoff, whatever I can get my hands on.
I
Tito's.
I understand Grey Goose is pretty good stuff.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite. I would think. I think yeah,
Yeah,
super
Smirnoff.
smooth.
Smirnoff is like is in my
Cheap.
experience is guaranteed bad hangover.
Nah, yeah, that stuff's not great.
No.
Nah, it'll
You
do
know
in a
what I
pinch, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those if you gotta, you gotta. But I mean,
Tito's is
I
also a very good one. If you would try
yeah.
that sometime. Yeah.
Do you have a do you like tequila?
Never really messed with tequila, so I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
it really kind of depends on the brand, from what I can tell. Like
Oh yeah.
Jose Cuervo is another one of those guaranteed bad hangover levels. Maybe there are better types of Jose Cuervo. You know, like maybe they got a 12 year or something like that. But also, Sauza isn't too bad of a tequila. But again, you got to get a better type. You don't want the bottom shelf stuff.
Interesting, man. I'll have to. Wow, you have a lot of knowledge here. I gotta start learning from you. Oh, master, teach me your ways.
Well, let me drop this lesson on you. When you're
Hmm.
wasted, drunk, and can barely stand up, don't try pissing in an alleyway.
Oh, damn. That sounds like good advice.
I literally peed onto my leg and it ran down my
Oh,
leg and filled my boot.
brutal.
The boot I
Brutal.
was wearing filled with
Brutal.
pee, and I had to walk
That's
home in that shit.
terrifying. That's the true walk of shame. Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, I was so
That's the
wasted I had to
definition of
hold
piss
myself
drunk,
up.
man.
Literally pissed drunk. Yes.
Oh
I don't remember all of this, but I got woken up in the middle of the night that night. I mean, like I said, I was wasted drunk. I got woken up in
no,
the middle of
fuck.
the night. She said that she thought I
Oh
started puking
fuck.
in my sleep. So I went into the bathroom, and I swear to you, to this day, I remember peeing in the toilet, but I was not peeing in the toilet. In fact, I was
No.
actually peeing in a wicker basket right next to the toilet. So it's just all leaking out onto the floor.
No. Oh man, you're bringing me back to my old college days, man.
Yep.
That's all. Those are the times when I was raging out,
Yeah.
and did you ever have you'd have those? Do you ever have those blackout moments where you don't even remember what happened?
Oh yeah. Entire portions of an evening just gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the hell happened last night?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was yeah, that was pretty much on a regular basis, especially when I was dating Melissa. We used to call
Damn.
this game. We used to play this game called Egyptian Rat Fuck, and
Whoa.
it was you would basically, it was kind of like a speed game where you would put cards down really fast, and if it was a pair, then you had to slap it. But if you didn't slap it,
Okay.
then you had to take a drink. If you slapped
Ah.
it, and it wasn't a pair, then you had to take a huge drink. And
So
that
you essentially gamify. You like turn the Egyptian war card game into a drinking game.
basically, yeah.
That's awesome. That sounds really fun, actually. But it sounds terrifying because the game can go on forever.
Yep, yep, yep.
But
Pretty much, it was a lot like war, but
different
there was
in a way, I guess.
the difference. I suppose a major difference is that there wasn't actually a war portion of it. It was just about slapping the pairs. You know how
What do
like
you mean? Oh, right.
in
'Cause
war, if you got
yeah.
a pair, you had to do the
Then you
war
could
thing.
stack. You would do the
Yep,
stacking part. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It was just the slap mechanic from that was the same. That makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
No. Okay.
It was fun and funny because the more you drink, the
Uh,
slower your reflexes are, and
that's great.
the harder it is to concentrate. So I mean, that game is pretty much responsible for why me and her were. I mean, we could drink a half gallon all except for like maybe the last quarter of the bottle.
It sounds like you have a pretty hardy constitution.
Well, I mean, I'm Irish and Swedish. I can drink.
I can't hold my liquor very well.
No.
Nuh-uh.
Well, is that because you haven't built up a tolerance?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I just don't think I seem to get drunk really quickly. Like a couple mixed drinks, and I'm like feeling really tipsy and starting getting drunk. Like I remember one time went to I go because every year I go to San Francisco Comedy Fest, SF Sketch Fest,
Oh, right.
and that's where I do a lot of my most heavy drinking because I'll usually get a couple like sweet vodka sweet and sours. But one
Which
time
I'm
I had
sure
like
the comedians appreciate.
oh yeah, yeah, the laughter is definitely flowing after that for sure. And but I remember one time I went and saw Doug Benson's movie interruption where he goes and he interrupts movies, and
Yeah.
those are like 2 hours long. And so I had like three, I think, of one time, and I was so drunk afterward. I was like, I couldn't drive. I was like, I had to get a ride from my folks.
Have you had that what is it? The iced tea.
Long
What is
Island
it?
iced tea?
Long Island iced tea, yeah.
No, but
That
I've always wanted to try it, dude.
Oh man, let me warn you. Let me warn you. It doesn't taste like you're drinking an alcoholic
Oh
drink.
man.
It just literally tastes like kind of a sweet tea.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Not exactly like it, but I mean enough that I mean it doesn't burn your throat as it's going down or anything like that. It's really smooth. It tastes sweet. It tastes good, and you can have like 2 or 3 of those and suddenly be laying on the floor wondering what happened.
Damn, that sounds fun. Yeah, I don't know where do you get something like that?
You got to order it at a bar.
See, I don't even go to bars really.
Oh,
Shit. I guess I could just go down to Applebee's and probably get one. They have a bar.
Yeah, probably. Why don't you go to bars?
There's none. I doubt any of the bars in my city are any good.
But you don't know because you haven't been to them?
Well, no, that's true. I don't. But I guess when you live so close to San Francisco, it's like the appeal would be you want to go to. Like I would love, I like the scene out there more. But that's just me.
Yeah. Well, there's honestly something to a decent dive bar.
Oh yeah.
I mean? Like, yeah.
No, really,
yeah,
I've never been to one.
There's something about it, with the pool tables and everything, and The kind of slightly worn look to everything. It feels very homey, very comfortable. Whereas when you go into a really nice place, you feel like you got to watch every step and watch your mouth and all kind of like everything's a bit more.
That's
I don't
funny.
know,
Yeah,
nervous, I guess. But
that's
I mean,
fair.
a nice dive bar. You can play some times, some
Hell
tunes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's comfortable.
Huh, interesting. I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah. I haven't explored that side of Antioch before.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Antioch
granted, the
City.
alcohol's all way more expensive, but
That's true. It's cheaper to drink at home.
it is way cheaper to drink it home. Like it's not even comparable. Going to bars is extremely expensive. And the one thing that you might have an issue with in a dive bar is sometimes and there's good dive bars and there's bad dive bars. In a bad one, sometimes they water down the liquor.
Really?
Yeah,
That's kind of shady.
it is totally shady, but I mean they're not allowed to do it, but they do anyway because it saves them money.
Because they can get away with it.
Yeah. You ever watch that Bar Rescue show?
Uh-uh.
Check that out, man. It's pretty good.
Bar rescue?
Yeah. This guy goes into bars that are failing and he like remodels their place and retrains their cooks and everybody and he like
Whoa.
kind of like he makes it a hopefully a successful business by the time he leaves. Kind of an idea,
Okay, yeah.
You know what? I learned something on that show actually.
Huh.
They did some kind of like a survey or something, and I think it was in Canada where they did this, but I think it probably applies to the United States too, and I know it certainly applies to me. Something like I want to say 47%, somewhere around in there. 48% of men would rather eat bacon than have sex.
That's well, bacon is pretty good.
Bacon is pretty damn good.
This is funny. Oh man.
Yeah. No denying the power of bacon, man.
True. I do love a good bacon breakfast sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Now, do you like extra crispy bacon or like softer bacon?
um, somewhere in the
Or
middle. I don't
somewhere in
like
the
it
middle? Okay.
totally soft, and I don't like it like it breaks into
Burnt to a
three
crisp.
pieces if you bite into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like it. I like it kind of a crispy soft.
Yeah, a nice in between where it's got
Yeah,
that meaty texture, but it's still a little crispy on the edges. And
yeah, like that.
totally, man, some real good old fashioned bacon.
Yeah, and sometimes I will just have bacon sandwiches with a little
I
mayonnaise.
love to cook bacon in butter. Like I'll just put a bunch of butter in and just cook the bacon in that.
And how many heart attacks have you had? No, I'm just kidding. I've
Luckily,
never
I'm too
had
lazy to
bacon.
cook that
I've never
much.
had
So,
bacon and butter. That's pretty
oh
good.
yeah, oh man, it's so good, dude. I love it.
I always just
Uh,
cook it in the grease that forms when you're cooking it. I always
yeah,
just put it
that
all in
works
that.
too.
I've never put butter on them before. That
What
that that
I do
that
is
that's like pretty good though.
oh yeah, totally. I put a bunch of butter on it and then I cook it at a low temperature for a while and just let it get nice and done, and then boom, pop it
And
out.
the butter just mixes with the grease that the bacon makes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I might have to
hmm
try that next time.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty good. I got good reviews for the people I was cooking it for, so I think it must
Right
have
on.
turned out well. Yeah.
I mean, I don't need my arteries anyway, really.
Yeah, it's just so butter's great to put on a lot of stuff.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah, butter's good stuff.
I made a dope. I had this little panini sandwich kind of maker and it's like just a little, very small little grill kind of thing. And so
Right.
I made this pulled pork sandwich on there the other day. And so I took
Oh,
the
that
bread and I
sounds good.
slathered it in melted butter and then threw that on the grill
Oh
with the
damn.
cheese and the pulled pork and oof, delicious.
Excuse me, I gotta clean up this little bit of drool right here.
Understandable, of course. Oh man. Yeah, that thing has been like my favorite. I honestly love that thing. I recommend definitely. It was nice to be able to just cook up any little sandwiches you want on the go.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I've had a panini once, but I'm not sure. I'm familiar with the type of bread though.
Well, this one is interesting because it's technically not a panini. It's like they call it a like a sandwich pocket maker. Essentially, what it does is it clamps the edges of the bread, and then as it grilled it, like they become like almost like hot pocket kind of
Oh,
like
okay. Like
concoction
with
thing.
one side open.
Not one. So if you put bread on both sides and stuff, and but then there's like a dividing line. There's like the grill has like a point in the middle where it actually cuts the bread in half, and so then it comes out as two separate pieces.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would
And
be pretty cool.
it's really nifty. Like another one I made on there was a pizza melt sandwich. I put in like pepperoni, pizza sauce, mozzarella cheese, and then I just use really thin white bread. I like white bread, but I use really thin sandwich bread. That way you can fit it all in because you have to make it kind of thin. I push the limits on it. Though. I'm like pushing that thing down, like get down there.
There's a little bit more room in here. Just let me sit on this for a
Exactly.
second.
That's right. So
Bring the
yeah,
car
that's
over here.
cool.
We need to sit here and move down a little bit.
Oh man. Yeah, that was me the other day for sure. And everything was scooching out the sides like blood.
Seems like you and Shaggy and Scooby should get together and make some sandwiches.
Mm. Oh hell yeah! You know what's funny about that is as a kid, I always that was like I looked at those sandwiches. I'm like, those look freaking delicious. I want
Right?
those sandwiches.
Yeah, but Shaggy and Scooby do this like snake-like disconnecting of their jaws to open that shit up to get them. I mean, because those sandwiches are like 12 inches high.
Yeah, dude, they're so crazy. Oh man, that was a big one for me growing up. Was Scooby Doo, man.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, dude. I was a kid.
yeah. I
Yeah,
I watched I
yeah.
watched it occasionally, but I'm not sure if I was a regular viewer.
I was really into the movies. Like, the one I will always remember is I believe their first movie, which was like about vampires on this island, and there was hot peppers.
Oh,
It's a classic, dude. It's a freaking great movie because it's like
I
the
think
first one where the show everything's like always some dude in a mask.
right.
In the movies, they were like, no, supernatural shit is real, and that was the first one. They were like, oh no, at the end you find out, oh yeah, no, this was real. They are actually vampires. There's no
Oh, well, see,
trick.
that would be better. I think. I'm glad they did
Hmm.
that. They did that something a little different in the movie there, because, I mean,
Yeah,
honestly,
totally.
after watching several episodes of the cartoon, and it's always some old man saying, "If it wasn't for those meddling kids," you know.
Totally, yeah. Became a little predictable in a way.
Right, right.
Yeah, that's why I think that I
Oh man,
really gel with the movies.
hey, here's a question for you, and
Mm,
granted, this is a little bit before your time, but I'm wondering if there weren't shows like this for you.
mm.
Um, like I go back and I watch shows that I used to watch when I was a kid, like like He Man or GI Joe or I mean Voltron. I suppose is probably the hugest
Oh
example of this,
wow.
but it just I loved it when I was a kid. I think it's probably just because I didn't know any better. But watching it as an adult, like Voltron, especially, is basically they've got about 10 or 15 stock scenes that they just use to tell every story.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's
And
interesting.
so I mean, every time the Voltron would form, there was a lot
Mm,
of
totally, totally,
expressions and
yeah,
scenes. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
there was
yeah.
almost no original material in each show. watching it now. I mean, it's
That's it. Yeah, they use that to cut back on the animation, I imagine,
yeah,
on the
yeah.
cost.
But I mean, you didn't know any better in the '80s, you
No, as a
know,
kid, you didn't notice that. It just looked badass as hell.
right?
The one
Right.
I grew up with was to compare because you mentioned a couple of different shows there. I think the one I can think of closest that I grew up with that was like those shows would be Zoids.
So it's yeah, I've never even heard of that.
Really? Look, let me. You mind if I share it up on the screen here,
Sure.
just to give you a visual representation of what it looks like? Because I do feel it has some of the similar elements of like a Voltron or some other shows like maybe He-Man or something. Essentially, these are some of the toys from it. They were like giant creatures that you rode around in like a
They look
Voltron, I guess, right?
they look kind of like Robotech Transformers.
I could see that. Yeah, that was big when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was on Toonami and stuff because we didn't. When I was a kid, we didn't know better that anime was anime. We just kind of watched it and thought it was like a cartoon that was on TV. And so I just remember
Actually,
watching this.
the only thing I watched off of Toonami was that Fantastic Four series.
Oh, okay, interesting. So you didn't really get into the anime stuff as a kid, huh? Or not even
No,
as a kid, just as in general.
even
Like you didn't
even as an
you missed
adult, I
that
just never
even
really
as
got
adult.
into
Yeah,
anime. Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
I don't know. I kind
I
of
gotta
like
get you into
Robotech.
anime, man. I'm gonna try and
Good luck
find
with
something
that.
for you, man. Yeah, really.
Um,
Did you
uh,
watched Attack on Titan and you tried that already?
Attack on Titan. That sounds
Maybe not.
familiar, but I'm not remembering it.
That's like shoot, you love a good horror. What kind of horror do you like the most, if I can ask?
The most slashers.
Slashers. Okay. What about second most? Because I don't know if there's any anime slashers that I can think of.
I
Is there?
suppose
I gotta look
like
that up.
something paranormal or supernatural, maybe involving
Hmm.
demons or something like that.
Hmm. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'll have to think on it. Yeah, that's tough. The Attack on Titan is the one but it's more like a people often compare it to Walking Dead, although it's a lot more complicated than that. But that's like an easy comparison they can make
Hmm.
because it's about giant creatures who eat people.
Well,
Um,
I do like. I mean, I do like creature movies.
okay, well, you might. It's the horror in Attack on Titan is superb. The storytelling is excellent. They tug at your heartstrings. They give you
It
great
is.
action and horror.
It is not the stories that I have an issue with.
Hmm.
What I have an issue with, and this might be old school anime, but it's the exaggerated faces. You know, like we'll be in
Hmm.
this serious moment, and suddenly they'll have a close up on someone's face, and all the huge exaggerated eyes and the I mean the whole thing. It's like 1 minute we're in the middle of a battle, and the next I don't know. I just don't like the art, I
Well,
guess.
the way I would address that is that for one, that there are many different tones and atmospheres in different anime. Some will have more of a serious tone. Some will have more of a jokey tone, and then others will have a more of a shifting tone. And I think that shifting tone is something that's very unique to anime. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about how anime and manga can shift between a really serious epic battle, and then all of a sudden the next scene they're like doing chibi faces, and it's a comedy scene. And
Right.
it's kind of a unique kind of into that medium where they can really have all these different tones and existing coexisting simultaneously. And I can understand how that could be a bit off-putting for some. I will say that the Attack on Titan is pretty straightforward with their. I mean, they do have some of the exaggerated expressions, I guess, a little bit, but it's all to the dramatic effect, like to emphasize the moment of like feeling with the character. Like you see their eyes get wide. It looks, you feel that shock in the moment. It's really all about the emotion with why they emphasize all the facial features, and they can't take getting used to if you're not really someone who's grown up with that. I could see.
Most of the animated stuff I have watched and that I own are like comic book movies.
Which have a different style as well to their own, like American animation style and
Right.
comic book movie style. Like I love the stuff from I've been watching some of the stuff from the DC movies, and those
Yeah.
have a really great style of animation that I really love. They have classic American style, but really polished and smooth,
You
and
know,
just
my favorite one from the DC movies is John
hmm.
Constantine's City of
Oh
Demons.
yeah, that's a really good one, dude. I love that. I love that. It's such a good one because, especially because I've read all the content. It's a great adaptation of the book.
Yeah,
It's
it's it's a mix of, I think, what was it?
couple stories probably, right?
Something machine. Uh,
The oh shoot, no, something engine I think it's called. All my engines.
all my engines. Yes. Okay. It's a mixture of that one and one other one.
All his engines. Sorry, all his engines.
All his
Um,
engines. Yeah.
but yeah, that one and there's another one. You're right. I'm not sure what the other one's missed, but you're right. It's like got a little bit elements of both going on.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's so fun. I love the demon creature, the character they have there. He's so like creepy and disgusting. He's one of the best villains. I just love Hellblazer Constantine. I finished the run last year, or I think it was last year, yeah, of the main original 26. I collected all the new editions that they came out with 26 volumes,
Right.
and my God, it was what a run. I even included the one from Vertigo Crime, which was the what is it called? The Dark something. It was like it was funny. It was like Constantine gets sent to hell, and he's on a game show in hell. He's trying to help these TV contestants out of this game show in hell. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah, it's
definitely
what a
sounds
good
like
series.
something Vertigo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, what a great series! The ending was amazing, and then it even included a bonus story at the end set in the near future.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I
really
I
cool.
haven't.
Called yeah.
I think I've only read like, I'm gonna say, like 5 volumes of Hellblazer,
Okay, the
and I
first five,
think,
right?
yeah, and I think my favorite actually so far, my two favorites really. I really liked Volume One. What was it? Some Sins. Can't remember the name.
Original Sins, yeah,
Original Sins. Yes, I really
so
liked the first
good.
one, and the fourth one, The Family Man.
Yes, yeah, hell yeah, dude. Let's go. That one was one of my favorites too, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so creepy and it was so down to earth. It was like the most like down to earth you like without any supernatural stuff. It was just creepy, and I just love the way he was able to do that.
Plus, I love my serial killers.
Yes, it was a really good one too, a unique one in a way too. Like he was like a really good character.
It was. It
Um,
was. I
yeah,
kind of liked
I would.
what they did. They did that on the show.
Hmm,
What was it?
the
What
Constantine
show was
show.
that? No, they did the convention. At a show, a serial killer convention on.
Oh, that was on. Isn't that Sandman?
Was that
The
Sandman? Yeah,
Sand.
that might have
I
been.
believe
That
that's in the
might have been it.
Sandman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And they talked about the Family Man in
Well,
there. I remember.
yeah, the Sandman. I could see that. Uh, oh wait, are you talking about a different series, or are you talking about within Hellblazer?
I'm talking about a live action series.
Okay, yeah, I think that because if I recall, the guy with the teeth on his eyes he goes to this convention of serial killers, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
That was one of the comic books I read back in the day. I haven't finished it. I'm like 5 volumes into the Sandman. I need to
Yeah.
finish it at some point, but
I have not actually read Sandman yet.
it's good, man. It's really good. The art is gorgeous. If you're a big fan of fantasy, I think you would really dig it. Which I mean, obviously, I think you are.
Well, I mean, I liked the live action series that they did.
Good, good.
But I just, that's one I've never. There's several that like are just considered classics that I just haven't gotten around to reading yet.
Yeah, I get that. It's tough, man, to find time. There's so
I
much to read.
I lost my Crappy
Oh yeah,
circumstances made me lose my comic book collection when I was
I
16,
remember.
and I
Well,
didn't
oh, when
get
you're 16?
when I was 16. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that one. I don't think.
Yeah. My dad decided that I liked comic books too much, and for that reason, I needed to sell
No.
them and give the money to his church.
Oh man, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
And that really kind of put me off of comics for a while. I mean, I was in my latter 20s before I got back into them again.
Damn. Whew, that's brutal, man.
Yeah.
Damn. I'll be so mad.
Plus, I seem to kind of have a bad luck with it. I lost my whole collection when I was 16. I lost my
I
collection again in the fire in
yeah,
2018.
yeah. You
I
just,
pretty
yeah, I
much
can't even believe that, man. It's
I
so
pretty much just
awful.
buy digital comics now.
I
The
guess you've been
fire
hurt
can't
too
burn
much,
those
you
down.
know? They
Yeah.
can't. Even if they get your device, it's still in the cloud. You can download on a new device.
Yeah, nobody can make me sell those, or they can't be burned.
Yeah, that is kind of a
Plus, I
nice
really
saying.
like reading them on my tablet.
Yeah, I find reading on the tablet actually is really fun. Like, it really is fun. I love do you use the panel by panel view by any chance?
No,
Oh, really?
I
What's got
just zoom in. I just zoom in on the page and move
what's
it.
what's so you don't use any of the apps or anything?
I use Comixology.
Okay. Oh, but you just prefer to zoom?
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay, one of my favorite features is the panel to panel. I love being able to just kind of go from each panel and see have it full screen,
Right.
and it's cool that they have that option available. Um,
I don't think I've tried that actually.
oh, really? You're kidding me.
Yeah. No. Yeah. As far as I know, as long as I've been reading digital comics, I've just been zooming in on the page.
Yeah, which all you have to do is double tap on one of the panels and it'll full screen it, and then you
Right.
tap left or right on your tablet and it'll forward or it'll either advance or go back onto the next or panel or the one before it. And in that way, I like it because it one you can get bigger art on the screen, but also it kind of like helps me because I sometimes spoil myself from reading ahead on accident. Like I can see panels that are happening, so I like
Right.
being able to just see each panel appear as they go. So I've been kind of enjoying that on my
It would
tablet.
it would seem like there are some cases where that might actually hinder reading. Um, for instance, we're making a comic right now, sad, and
Hmm.
there's this one page where there are three like tall, somewhat slender panels right next to each other, and you've
Hmm.
got a group of guys in the first panel and a woman talking. And so what you mostly see in that first panel is the woman's words, and then it goes into the second thing, and she actually says something that requires a response from the guys, but she is the only one in that second panel, and so they actually take the voice box and point it at the one
Mm.
guy in the first panel and stretch it over to the second panel to let you know he's talking. So like
Hmm.
a situation like that wouldn't work if you were only looking at one panel. You'd be wondering who the guy talking was looking at the second one.
What they would probably do is there's two options you could do. One is you would show the first panel and then you would zoom out and show both panels at once, or you could do the first panel and then zoom to the dialogue balloon and then to the second panel. But I remember back in the day, I don't know if they still have this, but back when you could just upload your comics to Kindle and Comixology, they had an app, their program on this computer, the Kindle Comic Creator, and it
Oh
allowed you
yeah.
to upload your comic and actually hand create your panel placement, so you could get the exact look and feel of each panel and how it would flow. And so, with something like that came up, you could come up with an idea of how to handle it yourself and then directly do that and display it the way you'd want to. I
Hmm.
do. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. I do think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never
But I do
done
see
it
your
that
point
way at
though.
all. My artist figures out how like. In fact, that's kind of one of the things I like about him is that I basically write novels in my panel descriptions, and so I mean
That's
I really
awesome.
like I really like how he is able to like I'll put out a 4 maybe 5 page layout, and he'll he'll decide to add like an extra panel in there and then lay them out in a certain way so that it makes the action come across better and with spreading across like 2 or 3 panels, that are in a row. You know what I mean? And sometimes he'll draw them dynamically, like in special shapes or something like that. So I mean, it's not just your squares and your rectangles and stuff like that. I've never done anything as far as deciding exactly how the panels are going to be laid out or anything like that. Tosin really does a great job with it, so I just kind of let him do his thing. Tosin has let me down all of one time in the 11 comics he's done.
I don't believe that. Come on now.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Uh,
There's been one time in Seder where I asked him to draw the boats looking down from the top, and how he chose to do the shields made it so that's not really what I had in mind.
so you had to rework it a little bit.
Right, but I mean, as a general rule, I mean that he pretty much either does exactly what I say or he improves it somehow.
Yeah,
So
he's really great. I love his
I
art
just
there.
haven't had issues with him. I mean, you make it.
I'm super excited for we got this vinyl banner coming in this weekend for
Yeah,
the convention, and it showcases 4 squares with different art to show off some of the different series we have, and I'm really happy to see that his Toastin's art is on there. It's
oh
got
nice.
the big lineup of all the characters from the Omenverse.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think it's gonna really look awesome on this huge banner. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
definitely take pictures this weekend to show
The
you.
scientist with the glass thing over his brain,
Oh yeah.
the little
Mm-hmm.
anarchy thing on there. You're going to be seeing him. He's actually going to be a main villain in the Dragon Girl Albino Warrior story.
Whoa, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be really cool, man.
With Anarchy Bill, he he believes that his actual goal is to basically bring people together. But he wants to find the perfect drug, the perfect formula that will, I guess you could say, open someone's third eye. That will, I mean, guy said when the doors of perceptions are cleansed, we will see things as they are. And
Mm.
that's basically Anarchy Bill's point. He wants us to see things as they really are. He believes that our visions are clouded, that we're not seeing the truth, and that we can't because we're denying ourselves and stuff like
Mm.
that. And so it that kind of feeds into his whole grand master plan of what he's
Oh
planning
wow,
to do
that's
there.
really cool.
Yeah,
He's got to be one of your favorite characters, right?
he is one of my favorite characters, and actually I made him up when I was like 16.
Whoa, classic character.
Yeah. Of
Nice,
course,
dude. Wow, that's wild.
when I originally came up with him, he did not have the glass over his head.
Mm.
I was kind of inspired by Eddie from Iron Maiden,
Mm.
and
Okay, yeah.
the very first picture. I was a bit of an anarchist when I was a teenager. About the very first picture of Anarchy Bill I drew, he had this just crazy look on his face, and his the top of his skull had been cut off and exposed, and there was a guy in a suit standing on his brain,
Whoa.
cramming the American flag into his brain.
Whoa. Man, that's wild. I like that visual image there.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. Maybe if we get lucky, maybe that'll come back. Who knows?
I he's not so much really a political character anymore.
Fair enough, fair enough. But he can have a little dude driving around his brain. I do love that idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. That's cool though.
Although
That's cool. Like that's that you brought this character back from that you created all the those years ago. Then you're still creating with him is really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually been making comics since I was 12 years old.
Dang.
It was
I made some comics when I was a kid too, believe it or not.
yeah, right on.
Yeah, when I was in elementary school, me and a buddy made these silly little Jurassic Park comics that were like full of ridiculous puns, and they were just
Right.
ridiculous and all around. But they're fun. And then I remember I wrote in middle school. I wrote some Resident Evil fan fiction, even though I never played. I only ever seen that one movie. I never played a game, but I guess I had that writing bug.
The first movie, I think it's I haven't played the game in a really long time. I think I was in my early 20s when I played it.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, but as far as I recall, the story in the Resident Evil movie is not too different from the video game.
It's
It's like
similar
they've
enough
got
that it works. Yeah.
yeah, they got the main beats down really, I think.
Mansion, zombies, etc.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you watch the newest reboot?
I have not.
It's a lot more one to one for the game, so they have like all the game characters in it, and it actually covers the first and the second game, which is
Well,
interesting.
if I recall, those they directly like the second one directly picks up right after the first one.
Exactly. So it pretty much worked, I
Yeah.
thought. Um, so it's kind of it's kind of cool. You go from the mansion to the town, the outbreak,
Right.
and then what comes up. So they might do another one. We'll see.
They keep
They
trying
have
to
a
bring out something more. They keep bringing out like an animated movie and then an animated
oh yeah,
series and then
there's so
yeah.
many of the animated stuff. Yeah,
Speaking of
but
series, I'm
oh
I'm
wait,
looking. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, you go ahead. I'll hold my thought for. I'll let you know in a moment.
Well,
Here, you go first.
it's a little bit off. It's kind of changing the subject a little bit.
That's fine.
Okay. They have an It series coming out called Welcome to
Oh,
Derry.
oh, really? Is what's his face coming back?
I don't know. I know that Bill Skarsgård said that he was willing to play Pennywise
Ooh, that would
again
be
after
wild.
he did It Chapter 2. But I think the series Welcome to Derry takes place in the 60s,
Interesting.
which is kind of
Yeah.
in between. They were in the novel they were kids in the 50s and then adults in the 80s. And so I think they're going by the movie here, in which case the kids were the Losers Club were kids in the 80s. And so I'm wondering what they're going to do with Welcome to Derry. Is it going to stick to is it going to be like an adaptation from the novel, where they're talking about the stuff in between the kids being the Losers Club being in the 50s and 80s, or are they going to do it as a prequel to the kids in the 80s?
I bet they do as a prequel if I had to guess.
I'm hoping so. I'd like it if they built off the continuity of the movies.
I think it would be smart.
Yeah,
You don't always see it, but I always feel like that's a smart idea because why not build off what came before? You already know it's in the zeitgeist and what everybody knows, so you don't need to rehash what's already been told. But it's great to build on that kind of thing.
exactly.
I always love when movies and shows do that. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but I feel like it's a worthwhile thing.
Well, I know. I mean, kind of spoiling my own show here a little bit, but they
Ah,
had 4 hours of over 4 hours of footage after making it Chapter 2,
oh,
and that was
that's a
cut
lot.
down. That was cut down to the 2 hours and 40 minute time of the second film.
Dang.
So they got a
Huh.
lot of footage to reuse from that if that's what they decide to do.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, that's cool. Kind of like how Glass, how they reused footage from unused footage from the first Unbreakable, from Unbreakable.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a scene where Samuel Jackson's character is a young boy with his mom, and those were scenes that had been filmed for the first movie that were cut, and so they just used them again in this one.
Oh, okay.
And so
Yeah.
and it works. You don't notice it, but it's like seamless. Um, so I got something for you here.
Okay.
I'm gonna put this up on the screen here. Let's see. I got a list here from this website, GameRant.com. 10 great anime for slasher horror fans. Let's see if we can find one for Mike. First one is called Darwin's Game. Darwin's Game takes the mobile game addiction and flips it on its head. The story follows high school student Kaname Suda, who is roped into a battle royale gacha game after the death of his friend. Now, let me ask you a quick question. You mentioned the exaggerated features here. Is it the expressions?
Well, just looking at this art here,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that we can only see the bottom of his nose. There's no bridge of his
Mm-hmm.
nose there. This
Mm-hmm.
guy, this particular guy, has really tiny eyes. Yet this girl right over here has giant golf ball size eyes.
Oh yeah, see they do that because the girls look cuter when they have giant eyes. It's like the idea of like little rabbits. Cute animals. If you have bigger eyes, it makes you want to take care of them and protect them. It's like a psychological thing.
Um, okay, I'm not sure
But
it has that effect on me, but
that's the general idea of why it's like that. Just to explain why they have bigger eyes, and then
I
the
think
guys have more serious looking eyes. They're supposed to be more small. They're smaller because they are more. He's the protagonist.
and they also have difficulty breathing without an entire nose.
Well, see, the nose thing is it's all about minimalism. It's based on manga, and it's all about like the art style is supposed to be able to convey the emotions and feelings of a face without necessarily having to give you every precise detail. Like, for example, you don't see the full lip; usually only get about a line, or in the chin, usually maybe just a little bit there. So and you know what I mean. So it's all about minimalism is part of the art style, and so it's why it's why they're all like that.
See, that's exactly the problem, and I think it's why you're not going to be able to make me
Mm.
an anime fan. I
Even
don't
something
like
called
the
Corpse
art
Party.
style.
Even
I
for something
don't
called Corpse Party, my friend.
I don't like the art. It is not the story that I have issues with.
Damn, that's too bad.
Yeah,
I wish there was an. Do you like the Studio Ghibli art style?
I don't even know what that is.
The Miyazaki movies, like Spirited Away and stuff.
Oh, I
How
mean
about
it's
this one? This
okay.
one, this one you might like. This one's like considered a classic. It's called Monster. It's on Netflix right now. Does he have eyes that are better?
That is a little better, but I mean I think
Hmm.
he could poke a hole in a wall with his nose. That is
Damn.
pointy.
Damn.
All right,
Man,
man.
that's tough, man.
I think we got to wrap this up. I got my daughter wanting to talk to me at the moment.
Okay, yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate you coming on. Definitely go follow Revelation Comics and Omen Comics on Twitter, Comics Omen,
Okay.
and we'll see you guys on a future episode of the Wikid Podcast. Go follow us on Twitter, Wikid Publishing. We'll see you guys.